My wife sent her top accountant into the company I built, positive I was hiding assets. Find it all, she yelled. I just waited. His face went pale when he opened the server's backup logs. He turned to her and whispered, "Ma'am, you might want to sit down. I built my tech company from nothing. 16-hour days, endless code, living on coffee and determination. My wife Emma never wrote a single line of code, but she had the charm, the connections. She worked the boardrooms while I worked the back end. For years, I told myself we were a team. Then one Tuesday evening, everyone had left to celebrate our latest product launch. Everyone except Emma. She walked into my office and dropped an envelope on my keyboard. "You've been served," she said. No emotion, just cold divorce papers. She wanted half the company, and she was convinced I was hiding money. Crypto accounts, consulting gigs, offshore deals. She'd convinced herself I was some kind of financial criminal. I could see it in her eyes. She thought she'd caught me. "I'm bringing in Richard," she announced. "Test forensic accountant in the state. He'll find everything you're hiding." I just nodded. "Whatever you need." Richard showed up 2 days later. Expensive suit, leather briefcase, the works. Emma was practically giddy, standing over his shoulder as he plugged into our admin terminal. She'd gotten legal clearance for full access to everything. "Take your time," I told him, sliding over the encrypted access token. "Really?" And he did. For hours, Richard clicked through files, cross-referenced tax documents, reviewed vendor payments. Everything was clean. Suspiciously clean, actually. I could see the confusion building on his face. That's when he found the folder labeled Mirror. His eyebrows shot up. He clicked it open and went completely still. Inside were hundreds of files, but they weren't mine. They were Emma's. Screenshots of her laptop, bank transfers she'd made at 2 a.m., wire transfers to offshore accounts, draft emails to lawyers about hiding assets, spreadsheets labeled contingency plan with detailed instructions on how to frame me. Richard scrolled through transfer logs, showing Emma had been siphoning money to shell companies, registered under her mother's and sister's names. Over $1.8 million, carefully hidden in fake expense reports and phantom vendors. The best part, one document titled, "Instructions if flagged," with a literal checklist. Deny everything, blame system breach, threaten lawsuit. And at the bottom, in red, "Richard is smart, but not that smart." His hands stopped moving. He turned slowly to look at Emma, who was on her phone, laughing about something. "Ma'am," he said quietly. "Who else had your admin password?" Emma froze. "What?" He turned the screen toward her. "These aren't his files. They're yours." I watched the color drain from her face as Richard explained how every transfer traced back to her devices, her IP addresses, her fingerprints. She tried to claim I'd planted them, but Richard shut that down immediately. "Manipulating logs across air-capped backup systems would require full root access," he said, "which he never had. But you did." Emma's lawyer showed up, yelling about unauthorized access. Richard calmly showed him Emma's signed consent form, giving him full access to everything. Then he showed him documents with the lawyer's own signature, co-signing some of Emma's shadier transfers. The lawyer went pale and left without another word. "See, I'd spent 2 years quietly mirroring everything Emma did on our shared network. Every midnight file transfer, every deleted draft, every fake expense report. I didn't hide anything. I just documented everything she tried to hide. She thought she was 5 moves ahead, planning to take my company and frame me as the fraud, but she never realized the incompetent tech guy she married had built the entire trap she walked into." Richard filed his report that night. Emma's facing a forensic audit, possible fraud charges, and her lawyer dropped her as a client. Me? I'm still running my company, alone this time. Sometimes the best revenge is just letting someone dig their own grave while you hold the shovel.